Yeah, good. I do.
Okay, lady and gentlemen, I want you all to imagine a world where somebody, literally anybody, can make a post about a hot button topic. That topic is then reinforced by information that has little or nothing to do with the topic at hand, and then that post is then pushed around, becomes popular and whatnot, and then when the truth of that topic comes out, nobody knows what to think. Got that in your head? Good. Was that hard to do? Didn't think so. You want to know why? Because that's the world we live in today, a world dominated by social media. And that's because we all use social media to get our news nowadays, because no one's waking up at 8 a.m. to watch CNN or Fox or whatever you prefer. Now, that's a big problem. You want to know why? Because there's little to no moderation on most social media sites that are popular nowadays. And that is a big problem, because with no moderation, you don't know if somebody's telling the truth, if they're just saying something that's partially true, or if they're just straight fibbing. And, well, that's a big problem, and the solution to that is, I think that the national government should pass legislation to hold social media companies accountable for the spread of false information. Now, I feel like I am qualified to talk about this because I've done extensive research through the use of journals, books, and even a magazine or two, talking about how harmful the spread of misinformation can be and solutions to correct that. And by the end of this, I hope you will all have a better understanding of just how social media can spread misinformation, which can cause harm to others, and that you'll support legislation in the future if it is so passed. Now, to get with the first topic, it's going to be a little more recent example, which is 2020. You all remember that year, terrible year, national pandemic, killed thousands of people, and buried even more with the destruction of the economy. Now, that problem, which was already bad, was made even worse with the spread of misinformation, because, as you all probably remember, when this all began, nobody knew what this virus was. They didn't know where it originated from, what exactly it did, and most importantly, how to cure it. Well, sad to say, a bunch of health gurus and self-proclaimed experts thought they knew how to cure it, so they spread that online. And people, desperate for a solution, decided to follow that. And when the government eventually came out with their own solution, nobody knew what to believe, because there were several different things going on. Like, you take this vaccine, you take this one, no, there's this special treatment you should get, or you drink hand sanitizer, you do this, you do that. Hell, you had people fighting over toilet paper at one point. Toilet paper. That's just a small scale on how, well, not a small scale, that's actually the widest scale you can actually think on, just how badly the spread of misinformation can spread and cause. And if you didn't know, according to one of the articles I went over, misinformation is often emotionally charged, because, for example, you're 2020 again, you're sitting at home, your bills are past due, you're out of a job, you need a solution to get back into the work field to pay your bills so you can stop suffering. You see this post online thinking, hey, do this, you do that, and you'll be immune to the disease. You follow that thinking it'll solve all your problems, and it does not solve your problems. If anything, it makes them worse, because either you will get extremely sick or you will ruin half your savings account. And now that you have that idea in mind, just how impactful, how dangerous misinformation being spread around can be, I want to talk about how social media companies can and do enable that. So as you all know, most social medias like Instagram, Twitter, Twitter, me, well, they run on algorithm, and that algorithm is based on what gets the most clicks, what gets the most views. And sad to say, a lot of those very popular videos and posts are filled with misinformation and nothing that is actually factual. And social media companies who already have trouble moderating their sites because the laws are so unclear, they will struggle to, moderate it, and even if they could, they wouldn't, because as you know, when it comes between a company making even more money or doing something for the betterment of us all, I think you know which one they would pick. It's not the latter, it's the former. Because in the end, money always wins. And now that you have that in mind, I want to talk about a potential solution, which is the government finally passing legislation that would hold social media companies such as Twitter and TikTok accountable for their actions and the actions of their users for spreading such false information, which in turn would give the companies more incentive, if you will, to actually moderate their sites, which would then build back trust between the public, which was lost in 2020. It would bridge the gap between us and the health department of the government, and all in all, just become a better online experience for everyone and everyone involved. And okay, to wrap everything up, as I've gone over, I've explained to you the problems that the spread of misinformation can cause to everybody. I've gone over how social media companies have enabled them, and I've given you a potential solution to said problem, and I hope you all have at least a better understanding of just how harmful this can be, and thank you for letting me talk for 6 minutes.